Look, whether you're sitting in a corporate boardroom, navigating family drama, or just making your way out on the street, eventually everyone learns the exact same harsh lesson. Power does not care about fairness. It simply doesn't. It doesn't magically reward the most talented, the most hardworking, or even the most deserving person in the room. What it actually rewards are those who understand its cold, hard rules. And as you'll see, understanding how just one law works can literally change everything about how you navigate your life. So, who actually holds the cards? Well, to figure that out, we have to look at the fascinating work of Robert Greene. He spent years obsessively studying the people who gained power, and crucially, the people who lost it. We're talking about mighty kings who were overthrown, brilliant generals betrayed by their closest allies, and modern executives absolutely destroyed by the people they trusted the most. And what he found is that across 3,000 years of human history, power follows the exact same hidden patterns. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are going to break down the first 6 precise, absolutely uncompromising laws from Greene's research. Now, fair warning, these aren't your typical feel-good motivational quotes or gentle suggestions. These are objective, unfiltered observations of how power actually operates in the real world. Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to organize these laws into 4 strategic pillars. 1, managing your relationships. 2, controlling the flow. 3, shaping public perception, and 4, the ultimate power play. All right, let's jump right into Pillar 1, managing your relationships, specifically navigating egos and trust. Law 1 is a brutal one, but it is absolutely crucial. Never outshine the master. The core rule here is that you must always make those above you feel superior. Do not go out there and show off your talents so openly that you make your boss or your mentor feel threatened. It sounds counterintuitive, right? But your safety, and ultimately your promotion, comes from making your superior feel like your success is just a brilliant reflection of their own greatness. You have to let them feel tall. Let them take the credit. To see exactly how breaking just one law changed everything, we have to look at the devastating story of Nicolas Fouquet. He was the finance minister of France, incredibly successful, but he made a fatal mistake. He threw a party so magnificent, so over the top, that it actually made King Louis XIV's own palace look kind of modest. Fouquet displayed all his wealth and pristine taste, and in doing so, completely bruised the king's ego. The result? Just 3 weeks later, Fouquet was arrested and spent the entire rest of his life in prison. Literally, one broken law ruined his entire life. Power simply does not forgive being outshone. And that brings us directly to Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Now, I know this sounds incredibly cold, but confusing personal friendship with professional trust has ended more careers and, historically speaking, more lives than any actual enemy ever could. Think about it like this. Friends want favors. They expect preferential treatment from you, and they can easily become resentful when you can't deliver. Enemies, on the other hand, when you convert an enemy into an ally, they have something to prove. They work way harder and actually remain more loyal. History totally proves this out. Take Michael III of Byzantine. He dismissed a highly capable minister just so he could promote a close buddy of his. Well, within a single year, that very same friend assassinated him. The absolute closest betrayals almost always come from the people you trusted the most. Moving right along to Pillar 2, controlling the flow of information and intentions. This brings us to Law 3, conceal your intentions. Never reveal what you are working toward until it's already done. You want to keep people off balance. We all have this natural instinct to share our big plans because honestly, it feels like we're building trust. But in reality, sharing your goals simply hands your competitors a treasure map. If they know exactly where you're headed, they know exactly where to put the roadblocks. A brilliant, almost scary example of this is Otto von Bismarck. He completely concealed his true political ambitions for years, hiding behind this very mild conservative facade. He misdirected everyone around him so flawlessly that by the time his opponents actually woke up and understood what he was building, it was way too late. The obstacles couldn't be placed, Germany was already unified, and he was the undisputed architect. Which ties perfectly into Law 4, always say less than necessary. Simply put, the more you talk, the more ordinary you appear. And worse, the more information you freely hand over for others to use against you. Truly powerful people deliberately use silence to make others anxious. When you're constantly talking, it signals anxiety and a desperate need to justify yourself. But power never justifies itself. It states its piece, and then it just stops. I want you to just let the weight of these words sink in for a second. I shall see. This was King Louis XIV's standard response to almost any elaborate request brought to him. Just a short phrase. Zero commitment, complete uncertainty. Nobody ever knew what he was actually thinking. And that made everyone around him incredibly cautious and desperate to please him. It is the ultimate masterclass display of power through pure silence. All right, on to Pillar 3, shaping public perception. We're talking reputation and attention. Law 5 states, so much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Reputation is the absolute bedrock of power. With a rock-solid reputation, you can accomplish massive things with barely half the effort. But without it, twice the effort is going to get you half the results. Your reputation literally enters the room before you do. It closes deals and holds your enemies at bay without you having to utter a single word. There is this epic historical story that just completely nails this concept. The Chinese strategist Zhuge Liang found himself defending a city with almost no troops against a vastly superior, heavily armed enemy. So, what did he do? He literally opened the city gates, sat up on the wall, and calmly played his lute. The enemy general, knowing Liang's massive, legendary reputation for setting brilliant, deadly traps, assumed it had to be bait, so the general retreated. An entirely undefended, open city was saved by reputation alone. How wild is that? That rolls us right into Law 6, court attention at all costs. The truth is, everything is judged by its appearance, and what is unseen counts for absolutely nothing. You can never let yourself just fade into the crowd. Especially in the algorithmic reality of our modern world, being ignored is the true death of power. The room always remembers the person who boldly commanded it, not necessarily the most competent person hiding quietly in the corner doing the actual work. P.T. Barnum, the greatest showman, understood this brilliantly. He knew that pure indifference was far worse than heavy criticism, so he would literally manufacture controversy. He wrote fake letters to newspapers under false names, viciously attacking his own exhibits. Why on earth would he do that? Because the controversy sparked debate, the debate brought crowds, the crowds brought money, and all of that translated into massive influence. He courted attention deliberately and unapologetically. Finally, we arrive at Pillar 4, the ultimate power play, the single master skill that ties all of this together. Look at what happens when you stack these 6 laws together. You manage the ego of the person above you. You manage the relationships around you. You tightly control the information flowing out. You control your words, you control your reputation, and you control your visibility. When we rapidly fire through these, you realize pretty quickly they aren't just isolated little parlor tricks. They are all just different variations of one grand master skill, controlling the narrative. And that brings us to Robert Greene's true underlying message. Power isn't just about raw force or superintelligence or even God-given talent. Power is the ability to shape what other people believe about you so that they act accordingly. And here is the most absolutely critical takeaway from all of this. These rules are already being played all around you, right now. In your workplace, in your industry, in your personal life, the game is happening, whether you choose to study the board or not. So let's make this real. Here is your concrete action step from today's explainer. I want you to pick just one of these 6 laws that you violated in the past year. Identify a specific moment where maybe you overshared your plans, or you trusted a friend blindly with a professional matter, or you accidentally outshone a superior. Now, don't judge yourself for it. Don't beat yourself up. Just analyze it like a scientist. The law tells you exactly what happened, and now, finally, you know why. I want to leave you with this lingering thought to chew on. Awareness is not corruption. It is protection. Understanding these cold mechanics of power doesn't automatically make you a villain or some evil manipulator. It acts as a shield. It prevents you from being manipulated by others who already know the rules. It makes you someone who can no longer be blindly moved around the chessboard. So ask yourself, are you going to play consciously or be played? Think about that, and I can't wait to see you back here as we uncover the next set of laws.